Prescott Van Meyer III, another episode of Cooking with Booze. Today, we are making an absolute favorite of mine, birria. But what's the twist? We're gonna use some mezcal. Now what is birria? Well, it's basically just the tacos that you make on a flat skittle, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna slow cook your meat. Now I have perfected this particular recipe. You may see different recipes online, but this is the one that I have the most fun with. This is the one I enjoy the best. I actually like to have equal parts of beef and pork. So it's up to you what kind of meat you want in there. Also, I throw in a little carrot, give a little sweetness, a little bit of carbs. We've got our jalapeno, our onions. Don't be scared of the garlic. Whole garlic bulb goes in there. And tomato paste, it's gonna give it that nice, rich red color as it cooks away. We also have some spices here, some beef bouillon, some chipotle, some cumin, even have some salt, some different flavors. It's really gonna just take that up as much as we can. And the very special ingredient that goes in all birria is the dried peppers. Oof. That smell coming out of that, very strong, a smokiness and earthiness. And you got some spice and that particular hatch pepper flavor. Oof, these are gonna be fantastic. I got the hot ones, so I might not put in all the jalapenos, we'll see. And this is called Cooking with Booze. So what are we gonna be adding? The mezcal. And we're gonna do this a couple of different ways. One, we're gonna be adding this to the pot as the meat slowly cooks with all the ingredients. We're also gonna add this to the consomme at the end to dip our tacos into. We're just gonna see what that does to the flavor. Kind of excited about it. Now this recipe, just like tortellini, can be very involved with different steps, but the good thing about it is starting it is easy. Everything just goes in a pot. It's gonna cook low and slow for so long that you don't need to worry about getting things uniformly cut. You just get it in the pot, good to go. 3 to 4 hours, cooking slow. Now with this pork, what I might actually do is cut off some of the fat and hold on to some of this fat to grease my pan with later. I actually got some really nice lean pork here, so that's just going right in the pot. Same thing with my beef. I want to get rid of all the fat because that's going to add lots of flavor as well. But having that at the end, put in the pot, it's going to be nice. Beef goes in. Don't worry about getting things too small. Voila, ready to go in the pot. Take your carrot, get the gross stuff off. It's gonna be nice and rich. Let me grab that carrot, rinse it off. In the pot. No such thing as a 5-second rule, just wash it, put it in the pot. I feel like famous chefs, they all have catchphrases, right? Emeril Lagasse, he had wham, right? Guy Fieri, you know, Mayor of Flavortown. Bobby Flay, I think his was Voulez-vous coucher avec moi, c'est soir? Oh yeah, Gordon Ramsay said, shut your mouth and do what I say, you donut. So maybe my catchphrase will be, let these rat fingers get to work. You got something better, just leave it in the comments. I mean, rat fingers come in handy when you're cooking. Really get in there. Garlic. Rat fingers failed me that time, that's okay. Getting these seeds out, gonna be plenty of spice in here. And then last but not least, hatch peppers. What I like to do, crack off the top, pour out all those seeds. That can add a bitterness to it. Not a lot of seeds in that one. You can hear that one, that has some seeds. Just pop it off, you can see, yep. Lots and lots of seeds. We're just gonna kind of shaking it. Looking good. Everything's in the pot. Gonna fill it with hot water, let it cook. Get everything submerged, and then escorpion. All right, it's been cooking for several hours. Let's get it off the stovetop. This looks extraordinary. See all sorts of flavor in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna strain this out very carefully. These gloves are great for the heat and also jumping in and out of Chadwick's properties, not leaving any fingerprints. Now what I'm gonna do right now is strain it all because the broth is liquid gold. But we wanna get the meat and the vegetables separated. So. The meat we're gonna set aside. This is too hot to handle. Reminds me of a t-shirt I got when I was 7 years old. It was from Goodwill. And now the vegetables are gonna go right into our processor. Now that is all separated, I'm gonna take some of the broth, put it in with the vegetables. All right, perfect. Now, as you can see, it's actually very, very thick right now, but that's okay. We're gonna put that blended vegetables right back into our pot. We're gonna cut up the limes. And I love lime juice, so I'm gonna do all 4. Smelling that hatch, the mezcal, the tomato, the meat. Give it a taste. Taste is very complex, so what we need to do is add a little bit of salt. All right, gonna put this sauce on to heat, and we're gonna add a little more mezcal. All right, let's check the meat. Oh, perfectly cooked, perfectly tender, absolutely just falling apart. As you can see, that nice lean meat that we had, oh, it's just shredding up absolutely perfectly. Give us a little bite. A little bit of heat to it. And there's so much flavor in that broth. That is just perfect. Now we're gonna be constructing them in the pan. There's a couple things I like to do. What I don't like is huge chunks of onion. I want the flavor there, but I don't want huge chunks that I'm biting into. Here's what we do. We actually take segments like this, we lay it flat, and we do it very, very thin. Now it's so thin that way, just turn it. I'm using a sweet onion here because I like that sweeter profile that it adds. All right, set that aside. I'm gonna check the consommé. Ooh, that mezcal. I'm very excited to try this all together. All right, let's start building the tacos in the plate. First thing we do, dip the tortilla into the broth. So much flavor there. And then building our tacos. I like to start off with a little layer of cheese. And then that onion right on top. And then the meat, just put right in. I know a lot of people like to take the meat and dip it right into the broth, but you know, I like to just have the meat on there as is and build it in. Smoked finishing salt on the inside. Fold it over. Now here's a trick I like to do. I like to take some cheese and put it on the outside. So it's gonna melt on the outside. And when we flip it over, get the other side crunchy, we're gonna have this nice layer of crunchy, cheesy cracker on the outside. Oh yeah. Oh, that color is perfect. Oh, wow. Hell yeah. Amazing. Well, I gotta say, I am thrilled with how these came out. Cheese crust on the outside, nice and crunchy. Consommé smells absolutely wonderful. So let's go ahead, dip it in and give it a bite. So good. If you notice, when I was pouring the mezcal into the consommé, I had a heavy pour. So it's very strong. There's lots of flavor. It's complementing everything that's going on. I can see actually using maybe a little less mezcal and having the consommé itself shine through. But overall, this was so good and such a great addition to this recipe. Feels authentic, celebrating all the flavors from that region. We got the Oaxaca cheese, Oaxaca mezcal. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure how authentic this recipe is that I used. I saw a couple of different recipes online, kind of adapted it to what was easiest for me to do. Let me know in the comments how you guys make it. But this, for me, one of my absolute favorite recipes. The mouthfeel, you've got all these different textures from the chewy tortilla, the soft meat, the gooey cheese, the crunchy cracker on the outside. It's a beautiful consommé soup that's very thick and nourishing. So much going on, and the flavor is just absolutely awesome.